Hello there, and welcome back to another Tundra Cast video. And we made it 69 episodes. Unbelievable. This is a fantastic, this is a special occasion, special episode. This is so unbelievable. I have Q and Shay with me to kind of help celebrate the special moment.
Yeah.
69 episodes, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
No, right? Best number. Yeah.
It's been a good run.
69.
It's been a good run. I've had fun so far.
This is going to be a fantastic. This is going to be a very nutty video. Anyway, we're talking about hot takes today. We did this last year. I wasn't on that video, but you guys were. I don't know how you guys did last year. How did you guys do last year?
Well, varying degrees of success. Shay did decent. Yeah, like hot takes, right? So they're not gonna all be good. Well, he had like two or three. Shay.
Thing 2. Let me double check. I have it saved somewhere.
Yeah, so there's a decent amount. Rossi had like 6 or something. It was insane out of 10. And then there was me with nothing right.
I had like 1 point. I had like 1.5.
1.5.
That makes sense.
It's better than.
I don't think I had any, to be honest.
Yeah, see, me and Nick, we're just sitting here with none. We tried a bit. We went a bit too crazy, but
yeah.
Hopefully we can do better this year, because it was kind of embarrassing last time. Not gonna lie.
Well, somehow Rossi got like 5 of them. I don't know how.
He just chose a bunch of stuff about Nashville, so he's like, he's gonna know, and we think it's all crazy, but nah, he knows.
He knows. Anyways, I guess we can start.
Let's do that.
Let's go. I guess we can start with Nick. Thank you to me. So you want to go ahead, Nick, with your first hot take?
All right, my first hot take. I don't know if any of these are going to be hot takes. I mean, a couple of them maybe, but the first one I have is Detroit making the playoffs. I like what they did in the offseason. I still trust the Eyes are playing, even though I'm not a Wings fan. But I'm excited to watch some Wings hockey. I think they're going to be really good. I think they've got Husso now, I believe. I think I got that right.
Yep.
I think the playoffs were kind of a fluke for him. It was his first playoffs. It is what it is. I think he's going to be a solid goalie in Detroit. And they still have Nedeljkovic as well. So that's a pretty good tandem, I would think, for Detroit. So you kind of start there. You got Seider, who's just going to be even better this year. I mean, he's already a beast. And you've got their young forwards that are up and coming as well. And they've made a couple signings too, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. But I think they're going to be real good. I think they're going to be at least a wild card team, I would think. I think they're going to have a really, really good bounce back year. And that's my first hot take.
They added Perron. They added Kubalik. They added Carr.
Perron, yes. Yeah.
They have Simon Edvinsson is coming up this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they also added Ben Sherratt, which is not good. But
not great, but...
it's not great. But, I mean, they made a lot of big strides this year. And, we'll see. And they got a new coach. I think it's Eric Lalonde, his name is? Or something like that.
Oh, I think you're right. Something like that, yeah.
I hadn't seen him before. He's like a completely new guy, right?
Yeah, he's completely new. He came from Tampa, so there's some championship experience over there. And we'll see how it goes for Detroit. I don't think they make the playoffs personally. I still think they're another year away. But they'll at least finally be competitive again, which is good news for the Wing fans.
So my hot take, it kind of goes in tandem with that, because a lot of people, so like the top 3 teams in the Atlantic are pretty set. You have Toronto. Maybe it's not that set actually. Yeah, Toronto and Tampa obviously. And Florida, of course it's set. Never mind. But then outside that, the wild card is a bit of a battle, right? And my hot take is I don't think Ottawa is going to be all that great, right? I think that I think they're gonna flounder a bit. They're not gonna make the playoffs. They might get into a bit of a fight, but I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. And I think one of the teams that's gonna make it ahead of them is Detroit. But I do see that wild card being like a pretty good battle near the end of the season, with teams like Ottawa and Detroit being like 2 big teams that are gonna be fighting in there. But
Boston.
And Boston, yeah, obviously you can never say no to them. As much as I'd like to, but
Yeah.
I think Ottawa, they do have a really strong top 6 now, but outside of that, it's still kind of, and Shabbat didn't have the greatest season last year, from what I can remember. I don't want to.
All right, he wasn't the best, yeah.
Yeah, he was meh, right? So they're counting on him a lot. Obviously, that's their big guy, and he kind of got overshadowed last year, and that's not great. So Ottawa, I don't see them actually doing that greatly, and I think Detroit they have a lot of they have a lot of potentials for even more breakouts, right? Because wrong one. Raymond and Sider were absolutely amazing last year, and they're going to be taking big steps again. So a lot of young players on that team, and they're going to come up, and I think they're going to edge out Ottawa. But I wouldn't at all be surprised if Ottawa is in there over Detroit too, because there's just a bit. They're pretty even teams in my opinion, and I think.
Okay, he's back.
Oh,
Okay.
something
Sorry,
happened.
your internet died for a little
Oh,
bit.
he's back. He's back.
Your internet died for a little bit, so it's funny when he came back to life. Anyways, that's funny when you put that. Common one, so I left it out. So it's actually kind of a good show that he put that in there. So just the opposite
Right
of what
now,
everyone
okay, there he is.
saying.
Sorry guys.
Is the recording okay?
That's actually I heard you guys the whole time, so I'm not sure what happened.
Is the recording okay at least?
Yeah, it's still recording. It looks
Okay,
like it's still
okay.
recording.
All right.
Scary for a
So
second.
Oh, just one thing on Shabbat. I actually just checked his JFresh. He actually had a career year this year, so we were all wrong.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Right.
I just didn't focus enough on Ottawa, I guess, this year. But my first hot take actually has to do with Ottawa, and I've been saying this since the summer, and I know it's not gonna happen. And I mean, if it does, and I'm a freaking genius, I think Ottawa. I'm trying to say this with a straight face. I think Ottawa finishes above Toronto. And now here's the thing, right? Ottawa has a damn it's not gonna it's probably not gonna happen, but let me say something, right? They got a great top six, right? They added Claude Giroux, they added a 40 goal scorer in Alex DeBrincat for basically nothing, right? Josh Norris is already pretty great. Greg Bafferson is phenomenal. Kachuk, if he fixes his damn finishing, he's a point per game player. And then you add in Tim Stützle, who's going to continue to grow. Add to the fact in that third line, you got Shane Pinto coming up. Matthew Joseph was good in his stint there. Alex Formenton, if he gets signed, that's great. That's a very, very solid top nine. You look at their defense, right? Like we said, Shabbat had a great year. Zub is very solid. Bernard Docker and Sanderson would probably be on that second pairing. And, both are young, but, it's time for them to make the step into the NHL. And, their goaltending's underrated. Like, Forsberg was great last year. I'm pretty sure he was in the top 10 in goals saved above expected. Talbot's still a damn good tandem goalie. Pretty good year in Minnesota. Minnesota last year. I just think, no doubt they have the talent. They have a good defense. I don't trust Matt Murray or Ilya Samsonov. And, both of them, are not good. And secondly, they both have a lot of injury issues. And if both get injured, you're looking at an Eric Shalgren and Joseph Woll tandem. And the Leafs can score as many goals as they want. If they can't get the saves, they're not going to fare well. So, it's a scorching hot take. Will it happen? Probably not. But I have...
Ooh.
So move on to my second one, which is actually further on the list, but I might as well say this now, and that's that Toronto doesn't fit first in their division, which I don't know why I put that, because I realized it didn't finish first last year. They've made a lot of decent signings, like offensively. I look at a guy like Obey Bell, who's a guy that can kind of step in and be I think he's a really underrated player, and he did really well with the Avs. They still have a really good core of guys. Like they did well last year. Just unfortunately they had to play Tampa in the first round and lose again in the first round. But I agree with you, Shay. I don't like their goalie tandem at all. I don't trust Murray. But out of all goalies to have a bounce back year, it would be Matt Murray, and it would be with the Leafs. And Samsonov is just a weird goalie. Like he looks like he's going to be super good like every year, and he just is so inconsistent. So it's a very unstable, goalie tandem I really don't like. I would probably say third for Toronto. I wouldn't say wild card. I wouldn't go that far.
no.
But I think third is probably where I'm going to put Toronto for like a season predictions or something like that, just because I really don't like that. And I'm still not huge on their defense either. So we'll see what happens. But I don't see them finishing any higher than third. We'll say that.
We could we could probably like talk for hours about Toronto. They're just that kind of team. But so we'll probably do a video on that. Let's be honest, because there's just so much to talk about. You can rag on them, you can make fun of them, you can like praise them. There's so much you can do with that team. But anyways.
What happens with Dubas and Keith if they lose the first round again this year?
Oh yeah. I don't think. Listen, as much as we love this shit on Toronto, firing Dubas and Keith is not the move.
No.
It's not the move. No. Those two guys are actually top 5 coaches and GMs retrospectively. They're really good.
Yeah, I think a big part of it's just been luck, and that happens, right?
Or it's a curse.
Or it's a curse. That too.
I think it's probably that.
So when the Leafs sign Zach Senyshyn and revive his career, former Sioux Greyhound.
Well, let's go. No, what are the Leafs acquiring Darnell Nurse, another former Sioux Greyhound?
True.
You guys are so funny. You're so funny.
I saw him play live, and I remember because there was a big dog pile at the end of the game, and Darnell Nurse and Ole Matta were part of it. So
All right. Number 2 for Q.
Number 2, right. So this is another one in the Eastern Conference, and I'm not that high on the New York Rangers, which...
Me neither.
True.
Okay, then we can talk about that. We're all not high on him. Right, so once again, I feel like the additions that they made, it's not going to help with their just god-awful, not god-awful, but like really not that great, just 5-on-5 team all around. They really relied on Shesterkin, and for some reason it came together in the playoffs, but I doubt that happens like over an 82-game stretch again, and again in the playoffs. And Shesterkin, like, as good as he is, being as good as he was last year is just too much to ask from a guy, because he was absolutely insane, right? So unless he can pull that off again, I don't see them. Well, they'll make the playoffs probably. He's good enough to carry them there, even if he has like a semi-off year. But I don't know if they're gonna do that well when it comes to the playoffs again, because I feel like last year was a bit of a fluke, and I don't see it happening again.
I agree. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Especially since the rest of the men. Welcome back, Hugh.
You can. Sorry about that. Can you say that again?
The rest of the Metro got better, right? I mean, you look at Columbus, you look at Pittsburgh, Carolina grew a lot. The teams in that division all got better in a certain way, except for Philadelphia. But I agree. I just think it's gonna be a tougher year for them. The only addition they really made was Trocheck, and they lost Kopp and Strome in the process. So yeah, I think it's gonna be harder for the Rangers this year. I can see that happening for sure too. My second hot take has to do with the other New York team, and that's the Islanders. My hot take is they aren't in contention because they fired the best coach in the league for some reason. They're gonna suck ass, and Barzal's gonna request a trade.
Whoa!
I think Lane Lambert is gonna be exactly like Trotz 2.0, just crappy in every aspect. And Barzal wants to play on a team that's offensively gifted. Who does he have on that team that can be a 30-goal guy?
Ross Johnston, the 4 years.
They're paying that more than $2 million for the next 4 years. They have bad contracts galore. They only have 4 good skaters. Besides Barzal, Dobson, Pulak. That's really about it. It's not a good team, and Lou's not a good GM. So Islander fans, just like you lost your franchise center in 2018, you're gonna lose another franchise center in 2023. He's requesting a trade. He's probably gonna go to some freaking city like LA because they have a million prospects. Have fun being crap for the next 10 years again.
Yep. I second that. It wasn't one of my hot takes, but I do second that because that team is god awful, bro. And I don't understand how all the hype they get. Where does it come from? There's nothing about them that says that they'll be good, other than maybe Sorokin, because he's just that kind of guy.
The beast. He's a beast.
He's
so good.
He's good. Yep.
That's crazy. We never had this many insane goalies in the league. I don't remember that.
Oh yeah. I mean, probably since like the mid 2010s, right? You had Quick, Price, Lundqvist,
Yeah,
Croft. Yeah, it's been a while.
Flurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Maybe
six. Like,
maybe not in the playoffs, but
yeah,
Yeah. He got her. Yeah, he came around.
he got it done. Yeah, right. But like,
yeah.
yeah, it's been. There's some insane goalies out in the league right now. Like what? Demko, Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, Sorokin.
I
I'm
have a
probably.
feeling like I have a feeling like we have a lot more average goalies now than we used to.
Mhm.
We might have more stud goalies now, but like around the league, I feel like there's more average. If that makes sense.
We don't
Usually
have
team-
bad. Is there really any like just like bad goalies? Like even if you look at like Murray, though he wasn't that great, but like we all agree that there's potential that he could go back to what he was before.
We probably don't have complete trash anymore as we used to.
Yeah. And that's weird because like 2010, that was when goals just were not going in.
There was like what in 2014 or something. Jamie Benn won the Art Ross of 87.
Yeah, it was weird. It was really weird. Anyways,
Number 3, Nick.
All right. Number 3, my hot take is Philly's going to be absolutely terrible, and I think
that's a hot take.
You can't let me finish. They're going to be absolutely terrible, and they're going to be so terrible that Tortorella is going to be gone by the midseason. I don't think he's sticking around. I said this last video. I really want to watch the Flyers play because I think they're going to be so bad. Like, who do you have in that team? You lost Giroux. You don't have Voracek still, and Carter Hart is fine. He's just that defense is terrible. You got Rasmus Ristolainen still in there, and he's locked up for a year. You got Ryan Ellis, who's got an injury. What's that?
Tony D.
Yeah, you got Tony DeAngelo in there now, who can't play defense worth a shit. They're going to be so bad. Tortorella's going to be so pissed at DeAngelo because he can't play defense. In fact, he's going to be so pissed at this Philly team for not playing defense. He's just going to leave. He's going to be gone. Like 4 years.
He's going to leave.
They might be the worst team in the league, man. I don't know. They're going to be terrible.
Oh,
I do not like their team.
I think they're finishing like 30th, man. I think the only 2 worst teams are Arizona and Chicago.
Yeah.
Who do they have? Connect Me? That's kind of it.
Charity, if he's always injured.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Well,
Faraby's decent.
Farabee. There's Hart, obviously. Hart was.
I like Sanheim a lot, actually.
Sanheim is good.
He is good for sure.
The only defensive awareness player in that whole team, to be honest. But oh my god,
that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be bad. They're gonna be real bad. I didn't realize Tortorella signed for 4 years though. I think you told me that, Shane. I was like, well, it'll last for 4 years at least. But yeah.
Well, my hot take, next one, connects with that again. Me and Nick are on the same wavelength here. I think Carter Hart, he's good. Okay, I said this last year, but I think he's going to be absolutely insane this year. Like, he's going to stand on his...
I said last year.
Yeah, I said that last year. I thought he was going to win the Vezina last year, which is a bit too much. But, like, I think he's going to, like, stand on his head for the whole season. It's still not going to be enough because that team's absolute trash, but...
That sucks.
It's so bad, but like they're gonna be like fighting for a wild card just because this guy is gonna be standing on his head. Cause like it's been so long now where we've been saying that this guy's the next big guy, and I think last year he showed like glimpses of that, but just the team around him has made it hard for him to like really take on a starter spot and roll. So I think this year he's just gonna like deal with it and get over it and just be good. I think that's what is going to happen.
When your right side is Ristolainen and DeAngelo and Justin Braun, then you're going to have a hard time stopping pucks.
Very, right? Very.
A really hard time stopping pucks. My third one is, I don't know if this is really a hot take. Montreal fans are like, oh, you're an idiot. I'm like, am I really? My third hot take is Montreal does not finish in the bottom 5. The only reason why the Montreal Canadiens were asked last year is because Dominique Ducharme is one of the worst coaches I've ever seen in my goddamn life. And like, if you really look at the team, is it that bad? Like, they're bad.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. Let me make no excuse of it. It's a bad team. All right. They should be in contention for Connor Bedard. And I mean, if they don't get Bedard, then you're a dumbass for passing up on Shane Wright. I don't know why you did.
Yeah.
But like, if you look at if you look at the team they have here, and NHL.com is freaking struggling right now.
Always.
Close, I can finish my point.
As always.
It's like they have Caulfield, right? They have Suzuki, they have Hoffman, right? It's a decent first line. Jared, Monahan, who's hoping to rebound, Anderson, Dadonov, Doc, Gallagher, Dvorak on their fourth line from me and Byron. Like, I've seen worse forward cores. Like, it's not good, but it's not bad, actually. There's a lot of former 20-goal guys in there. A lot of, at this point, you can consider them veterans, but it's still a decent offensive core. You look at the defense, that's where it really gets spotty. Matheson, Savard, my God, might be the worst first pair in the league. Edmondson, Justin Barron, Jordan Harris, White. The defense is trash, but you still got a decent, tandem goalie in Jake Allen. And, Marty St. Louis really changed around the team last year. I expect that to continue forward this year. And like I kind of said with Philly, I think Philly's worse. I think they're bottom three. Arizona, Chicago, and I even think, teams like San Jose and Anaheim are going to be worse. You look at the Sharks, they're awful. And I think the Ducks are still rebuilding. And John Gibson really hasn't got any better. Like, honestly, at this point, if you look at the past 4 years, Jake Allen has outplayed John Gibson. And I tend to favor the Habs' offensive core because, sure, the Ducks have, McTavish and Zegras and Troy Terry. They added Ryan Strome, but I think I really like that bottom six for the Habs. And, that's why I just don't see them finishing bottom five. I don't think it's as bad as the Team Montreal fans are saying. And, I think they don't finish in the bottom five. Maybe, but from what I've been hearing from Habs fans, I'm like, it's not that bad.
I might have just been, like, happy that they're gonna be bad, so I didn't think about it that much. But the more that I think about it, I think you might be right. Yeah. But that doesn't take away my hope that they'll be horrible. But yeah, I think you looking at it logically.
Wouldn't you want them to be mid though, so they don't get Bedard? Because if you have Connor Bedard in your division, I'd be cautious of that. I'd be very cautious of that hope.
Well, I was actually hoping they finish second last in the league and then drop back 3 spots, just cause. Because
they
don't get Bedard, they don't get Mishkov, they don't get anyone. So yeah, but anyways, though, that's just me. But I do think you're right. They're not going to be that bad. But even though I think Habs fans kind of hope they will be, but still,
I mean, I think they're especially hoping now because they passed up on Shane Wright.
Bro, I still can't believe that. Like, what?
Yeah,
it don't make sense.
That was the funniest draft ever, to be honest.
He must have been just sitting up there crying. I can't even believe that, bro. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Every time he showed his face, they showed a face cam of him, I felt bad. I felt so bad for him.
You look so pissed.
He should be. He should be.
New Jersey made sense, right? New Jersey made sense because you already had Fisher, you had Hughes.
Yeah, Arizona, right? What are they doing?
Arizona's fucking hilarious. Logan Cooley. Anyways, number 4, Nick.
It's kind of in the same boat a little bit. It also has to do with a team not finishing in the bottom 5. That team for me is Arizona. I don't think they're a bottom 5 team this year. I don't know what it is about Arizona. I don't know if it's just the new arena. I feel like that arena is going to be bumping for some reason, and I just feel like they're going to be really good at home. And they don't have they're pretty bad, but I don't know. You still got Chikrin. He's a pretty good. He might be gone by.
He's going to be gone. That's the thing, right?
You still got Vemelka, I think. They might be okay.
They have to hope that. I don't know. They have to hope that Barrett Hayden does something this year.
True.
First, he can step up, and Soderstrom actually needs to also do something because Soderstrom was hyped up forever.
They should have up for him.
Yeah, he's got to do something. Soderstrom, that was the time to do something. And honestly, I'm kind of bandwagoning Arizona this year. I can't wait for Mullet Arena.
It looks like it'd be an absolutely insane atmosphere in there. You have the most passionate 4,000 fans in the city, and they're just all sitting in there.
I can't wait, man. Okay, Q.
All right. So this will be my second last one in the East. I've been doing a lot of stuff in the East, but I'm going to Pittsburgh and saying that Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, they'll both be point per game players. I think they're going to be
Cool.
absolutely insane this year. And I don't know why. It's just a feeling, but I feel like they do know it's coming to an end. And Pittsburgh did get a bit better this year, I think.
Petrie, for some reason they signed Josh Archibald.
It was a weird one.
They signed Jan Ruda to like a 3x3, and now he's like their 7th defenseman.
Now
so
he's like scratched.
Yeah, yeah.
you guys add like, what's the point of Ruda if you got Petrie? Like,
Yeah, I never understood that one. It don't make any sense to me. Like they literally have too many defensemen they can't count.
Yeah, they got so much.
Anyways, but yeah, I do think that Crosby and Malkin, they're going to be really good. And Gensel, he's going to get paid at the end of the year. Like, I think we're finally past. Okay, we're not in TundraCast. We're not past him saying that he's overrated, but I think in the league we're past saying he's overrated. So yeah, he's going to help them out a bit too. And it's Sidney Crosby, right? Well, you can never count him out. He's just that guy. So
The guy.
yeah, I do think that both Crosby and Malkin, they're gonna have something to prove this year, and both be point per game.
Yeah, that top 6 looks insane for Pittsburgh actually this year. Like, and you put Raquel and Rust in that equation as well. They look really, really good.
Exactly.
Luka looked really good in his first preseason game as well. So hopefully he can have a bounce back here finally. But
He'll get injured again. Don't worry.
yeah, probably. I mean, I'm hoping.
My number 4, still in the East, the Capitals. With Wilson and Backstrom healthy come playoff time, I think they're going back to the Eastern Conference Final. They added Darcy Kemper this offseason in the goaltending department. I don't think he'll be as bad as he was in the playoffs last year. I love Connor Brown and the Dylan Strome signings, not just because they're good players, because got them for cheap, and they have chemistry from Erie Otters. And you can't tell me this is one of the best offensive teams we've seen from the Caps in a while, right? You still got Ovi, you got Kuznetsov, you got Oshie, you got Manfa, who didn't play at all last year, by the way. Like, you still got Brown, like we said. You got Eller, you got Strome, you got Sheary, you got Connor McMichael coming up, you got Hendricks Lapierre, you got Tom Wilson still, you got Hagler. That's like 10 or 11 names I just said there, all in their forward court. It's really, really good. Defense is spotty. John Carlson is fine. Nick Jensen, Orlov, they need to add in their top 4 defensemen. Maybe Alexiev finally steps into the NHL this year. And it's literally, I think this is Ovi's basically last best chance to get the cup. And also, once again, he's not, I think he's going to go off this year. He's 20 goals away, 800. He's 21 from Howell. He's 22 away from all-time in second place in goals, right? So I think this is the year the Caps make it to the Eastern Conference Final. I think they end up losing the Eastern Conference Final, but I think they go on a run because they haven't really done anything since the 2018 Stanley Cup. And they just got a good team this year, so I have faith in the Caps. That's my hot take. They're going to go to the conference finals.
I had the same idea. So I actually have 11 because I know me and you kind of had the same thing. I had Washington finish as top of their division because I also really like their forward core, and I really like the signing of Kemper. I mean, he's not a stellar goalie, but he gets the job done. And we saw that with the Avalanche last year. Even when he was mediocre, that team in front of him was just so good. And I think we're going to see that with the Caps. I think it's just going to be a mirror image of that team. But I'll move on to my other hot take.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a hot take if Vegas missing the playoffs, but I do have Kessel scoring 25 goals this year. I think he's going to have a bounce back year. Yeah, I think he's going to have a bounce back year. I think, honestly, Vegas' top 6 is still really good. Is Stone still out? Is he on LTIR?
Oh, he's fine.
I remember. He's fine? Okay, I remember him being injured for a while.
Well, I mean, their bottom 6 is...
their bottom 6 is...
absolute trash, yeah.
But their top 6, I don't mind.
Do you want me to say what their bottom 6 is? I don't think... I don't even know if half these guys even exist.
For comedy purposes. For comedy.
Hey, so do you guys know who Sakurai Maninen is?
I've heard of him.
Sakurai, yes, I've heard of Sakurai just because the name is so cool.
He's on their third line with Chandler, Stevenson, and Nick. That's actually not a bad third line. I don't know who that Manningen guy is, but their fourth line is Kolsar, Howden, and Carrier, which, I mean, it's not great. And their defense, and remember, they don't have Nick Hague. I mean, Martinez, Pietrangelo, and Theodore all cannot play defense. The only 2 players that can play defense on that blue line is McNabb and Whitecloud. They don't go Leonard. Brossois is out till December. and it's all on Logan Thompson. So yeah, I can definitely see them missing the playoffs.
Well,
Even with how good of a coach Cassidy is, I can see them.
yeah, I think it's
I
very, very
still
dependent
think
on Logan Thompson. If he can shoulder the weight, which is the very big weight, by the way, then maybe, not maybe, they could probably make it, but it's all on him, and I think he knows that. So that's a lot of pressure for one guy.
Yeah.
but I think Kessler should be one of the bigger bounce back candidates this year. Obviously, playing the last couple of years in Arizona, not great. I think he scored like 8 goals last year or something like that. But I mean, he might play with Eichel. He might play with whoever else the other center. I forget the Vegas team, to be honest. I just feel like they're just so annoying and irrelevant sometimes that I just don't really pay attention to Vegas at all. But I think Kessel will do well. I think he's playing in that top 6. He can easily score 20. I mean, he's filled Kessel.
He can.
Like,
I just don't know about
he can
Eichel,
score
man.
20.
I feel like
That's
Eichel's.
true. I mean, Eichel's kind of a curse. I feel like. I think he's in the same.
The new
boat
Matthew
as,
Shane.
Yeah, bro. Like, this guy was like supposed to be like the only one that would be anywhere near McDavid for like what the next 20 years or whatever, and
So we
they
kept hearing, right?
yeah, it's crazy how
And,
much he
like-
dropped off.
Like I remember when the Matthews draft happened because Matthews was actually fun fact. If Matthews was born 2 days earlier, he would have went in the 2015 draft, and he probably actually would have went third, which means he actually would have been in Arizona. Ironically,
It's insane.
Toronto. I mean, you should be happy that. Hold up. Let me do some math here. What's 9 months before September?
Valentine's Day?
Actually, wait,
I don't
no.
know. It might be.
Well, September's what the 9th month, so
Well,
December.
you gotta think as well.
December.
You
You know what? Maple Leaf fans should be happy that Matthews' parents had snacks on like December the 14th or whatever. Be happy.
think of the conception process. Like it takes like a week or so, right? So you gotta think.
No, they planned it all out. They didn't want their son to go to Arizona. I'm sorry. They knew that there was garbage there.
Okay, Q's next hot take. We're getting very off track.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So this is a big one. It's a bit crazy, but I think the LA Kings, who are gonna be good this season, they're really gonna be good this season. They're gonna see that they're gonna be good this season. By the end of the trade deadline, I think Patrick Kane is gonna be on the LA Kings.
Wow. Okay.
So obviously Chicago's looking to get rid of him. They don't want to get rid of him, but maybe Kane wants to leave. From what we can tell, he's not the greatest person, like from everything we know. But that guy is still an amazing, like, offensive threat. Can't play defense for crap, but he's still such an amazing offensive threat. And any team should want him when it comes to the playoffs, because he's won a bunch of times. And the LA Kings, obviously they have so many young players, and just like complementing that with someone of Kane's caliber, I mean, it's not going to hurt you at all, is it? And they have the assets that Chicago would want. So
Would you trade Byfeld for Kane?
no, I wouldn't do that.
I think you do.
Oh, you think so? I don't know,
I
man.
think you do. Well, I think when you look at Chicago, they're gonna want him. But I don't know. Byfield's a bit of a weird one because I feel like he should have been good at this point in his career as well. But like,
he hates young players. He puts like Arthur Kelly as
true.
the rest part on the 4th line.
Yeah,
that is true.
It's odd.
Byfield just has insane potential, right? I really feel like he could break out this year, and I don't think it's a good idea to get rid of him for Kane. And once again, it's at the deadline. If he's like struggling and he's just not doing well, then maybe you could, but I wouldn't.
My next hot take actually has to do with Patrick Kane, and I think his trade package is on the level of when Mark Stone got sent to Vegas. Mark Stone got sent for a 2nd-round pick, Tobias Lindbergh, and Eric Brandstrom, who was supposed to be something at the time, to be like a bust now. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen to Kane. That 2nd-round pick became Robert Mastrosimo, by the way.
Who?
Exactly. Robert Mastrosimo.
Master Simone.
Hey, it's episode 69. We gotta get as many jokes as we can in here. I think Kane makes $10 million. So, even at 50% retained, a lot of teams, especially contenders, cannot afford that.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even at 75% retained, most teams probably will be able to afford that. The UFA, and he has a no movement clause. Those are 3 huge factors, and I think at best he's gonna get a 1st-round pick, mid prospect, and a contract back. I don't think Kane's gonna get a lot because he makes so much. He can control where he goes, and it's a rental.
Yeah.
And like especially when you look at what the Branky got, I don't know if you can trust Kyle Davidson making next big trade. So that is my hot take, that he it's basically nothing in return. It's funny that you mentioned that he's a shitty person because he's fit Edmonton well, huh? Especially after we signed Jake McCann to a PTO.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still mad. Oh my god, man. It's on a complete side note. I'm gonna go really dark here, but it's been absolutely horrible what's been happening. Like hockey culture is just so messed up.
Yeah, they claim that we've been getting better in that aspect. I don't know, man. I think we're getting worse, to be honest.
Yeah.
People just become so numb to it, and it's not a good thing. Like sexual assault and attempted sexual assaults, they are the most like the fastest growing crime, and it's just so hard to prove them. It's so hard to like it just becomes a he said she said thing in court, and that just doesn't work with the legal system, and it's just been absolutely horrible. I feel it's yeah. Anyways, sorry.
That's alright.
Yeah, it's just something I
number
feel
6,
strongly about. Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
I agree.
Yeah. Number 6 for me is Colorado loses in the first round of the playoffs if they make it.
Whoa.
Georgiev, I mean, I don't think they're going to be as good this year. I think they made some decent signings, but it's the goalies, man. I don't know if I trust Georgiev as a starter in that team.
Francis is good. He's good.
Yeah, Francis is good.
Francis is good, but I don't know. Same thing. I don't really see him as like that's like not like how Darcy Kemper was last year. Like the guy that can actually like get the job done at the end of the day. I just feel like it's so inconsistent in that back end. I mean, they could easily just go past. Like, they could blow by the first round if they wanted to. I mean, you got MacKinnon, you got Makar, you got all these great players. I think Landeskog's out for the start of the year.
Yes.
Or he's supposed to be out. That might hurt them. We'll see. But I don't know. I think those are good in the regular season, but I think when it comes to playoff time...
One thing people aren't talking about is the fact that they've lost Kadri and Burakovsky.
Yes, yeah.
I like Erod. He's not going to replace what Kadri does. I'm not even saying Kadri's going to repeat what he did last year. There's no way in hell he does that again. He's probably a 60-point guy in Calgary. Like, you're asking a lot from Alex Newhook and JT Comfort. That's the thing. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on those guys, especially guys like Martin Kaut. You don't want to put a lot of pressures on the rookies to fill those big holes,
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that, Shay, because that's actually my next hot take. Are you finished, Nick?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because I'm going to go to Calgary next and say Kadri is not going to even break 60 points.
Oh, okay.
Like, maybe. Like, obviously, he has the skill. And there's nothing saying... he's shown it. But, like, he went from being the second liner to a third liner, and then suddenly he's like his first line elite player, and it comes out of nowhere. And there's also the fact that he was on Colorado, which is
also like 33 now,
and that right. So I just feel like he's gonna go to Calgary, and it's a completely different team than Colorado. It's nowhere near the same level. He's not gonna have the same type of teammates, and I think he's just gonna go revert back to what he was before, and for $4.5 million, what he was before was absolutely amazing. But for this big contract, it's not. So it's just not gonna look that great for Calgary by the end of the year, in my opinion.
Especially a 7-year deal.
Yeah, 7-year deal. He's gonna be. I still don't understand that. Like, still, like, I get it. Yeah, he's a big free agent, and you give them max term, but he's not gonna be. Yeah.
He's 39 when that ends, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Number 6, I got the Sharks finally realize, hey, we're not competitive anymore. Let's actually try to rebuild, and they're gonna trade Timo Meier to New Jersey. New Jersey was in on Johnny Gaudreau and Alex DeBrincat. They obviously want a big-time winger, and Timo Meier is the perfect power forward type guy to play alongside of Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt. What they could trade for him, I don't know. And Meier's also an RFA this upcoming offseason, right? So they're going to have complete control and term over him. I think New Jersey, this is probably more of an offseason move, but I could also see it happening at the deadline. Basically, I think the Sharks need to get as many prospects and picks as they can, because their prospect pool because they haven't been good since 2019. Their prospect pool is still very, very, very thin. Besides Will Eklund and Thomas Borderlo, there isn't a whole lot there. I think trading away Timo Meyer will get you a lot back, and you can finally actually start a proper rebuild process. And I think that's why Mike Greer was brought on, because Doug Wilson was there forever. He was opposed to rebuilding. Have a fresh new face, fresh new coach, even though Dave Quinn sucks ass. I think that's probably why they're gonna suck ass too, because of David Quinn, to be honest. but yeah, I think they're gonna trade Timo Meyer, and I think New Jersey's the perfect landing spot for him.
I can see that. I definitely could see that because
Yeah.
it's about time for the Sharks. It's over. They had their chance.
Yeah.
They blew it.
Yeah, they're not getting good anytime soon.
Exactly.
Like they have Aiden Hill. Like,
Yeah, is it Aiden Hill?
Am I right?
Yeah, Hill's
I
in
think it's
big
Aiden
now,
Hill.
actually. He's in
Oh shit, you're right. I'm thinking of what the fuck's his name? Stalock? Is that his name? Or is he in
No way.
Chicago?
Stalock back
For
in.
fuck's sake! I don't know what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Kakkonen.
Kakkonen?
Decent. But he was not very good in Minnesota, that's the thing. But he's supposed to be decent. Alright, we'll see.
Yeah, he has potential, right? So maybe.
Goalies are weird.
Yeah, they are. They're definitely.
Voodoo.
But I guess I'll move on to number 7 in my hot takes. I actually think Calgary's going to do really well. I think they retained first in their division. They lost Joe, they lost Kachuk, but I think they filled some holes that they needed still. They got Huberdeau, who was an MVP candidate last year, and they got Nazem Kadri, who I don't think is going to do as well, but it's Nazem Kadri. I mean, he can do everything. He's got grit, he's got speed, he still has some skill, he can score. He scores very important goals. He's very important come playoff time. I think when we look at the Leafs, I think we look at a missing hole there, in like Nazem Kadri being kind of like that.
Never really played for the Leafs.
Yeah, to be fair.
Okay, fair enough.
To be fair.
Fair though. What if he did though? That's the thing.
Yeah, it would help. It would help.
We're looking at a second round Toronto Maple Leafs, it would help. So, I think Markstrom's going to be really good again this year. I think their defense is still pretty solid as well. Not super fantastic, but like they got some decent names in there. The top 4 is still pretty solid. I think they're going to be first again in their division. And like the top 6 again are really good. I mean, we talked about Huberdeau and Kadri, but they still have Mangiapane, who's a very underrated player. And you got some young up-and-comers as well. So I think they're going to be really good. So we'll see what happens come playoff time, but I think regular season they got it in the bag. Elias Lindholm's still there too. He's insane.
Yeah.
So their center core is really good. They're set for a little bit longer, I think. So it was a really good offseason considering what happened and what they lost. So.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's crazy. They did lose a lot, and people were like, harping on them for good reason. You lost your star, but they came back, and like it's like a net zero. They might be a bit better, maybe a bit worse, but like after losing Kachuk,
They're still very good.
Exactly, it's impressive. Anyways, my next one is staying in the West for this, and here's my arbitrary Vezina prediction, and I think it's going to be UC Saros this year. I don't know if that's a hot take. I just feel like people have either Vasilevsky or Shesterkin locked in, but I think that Saros is going to be, he's going to come out and be absolutely insane this year. And he was really, really good last year too, and I think that went under the radar a bit, just because, I don't know actually, why would it go under the radar? I feel like we heard about it a lot because...
He's 5'11", he's undersized. Stop talking about it.
You know UC Saros is 5'11".
Wait, really?
For a goalie. Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, I did not know that, even though I just said it 2 minutes ago. No, I didn't know that at all. Unbelievable.
But yeah, I think that he's been good. He's been good for a while, and I think this year he's just gonna absolutely knock it out of the park because Nashville, they were a surprise to make the playoffs last year, but I think this year they might be even better. So, yeah.
That's great. My next hot take, number 7, going back to Vegas. After missing the playoffs, Vegas, like always, is going to blame Bruce Cassidy, even though he signed a 5-year extension, or 5-year contract. They're like, we didn't make the playoffs? Must be the coach. But I also think Kelly McCrimmon gets sacked as GM. I think they're going to do a total uplift, because that franchise, man, is... They're not loyal to the players whatsoever. They trade them for future considerations. Whenever the hot new guys on the market, they immediately go for them. they don't really do any team roster building, and like they have such a bad reputation around the league now. Remember when we were all cheering for Vegas in year one, and how
Yeah.
much of a cool story it was that this expansion team full of misfits, made it to got first in their division. Oh look, they're in the Cup Finals. I don't know what happened to them, and I miss that Vegas because that Vegas was actually fun to watch. They actually had loyalty, and ever since they got Mark Stone, it become for a good reason very very hated.
Maybe Mark
And
Stone's the Twitter admin.
yes, their Twitter admin. By the way, they actually replaced the old one. Remember, their admin sucked during the 2021 playoffs, and actually they replaced that admin with a new one. And I honestly can't really tell the difference. They both suck.
I don't even know that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna blame Cassidy, even though it's not his fault. And yes, it's year one into a 5-year contract. I think we're gonna do a total uplift of the organization. I think that's what they kind of need, to be honest.
Which is crazy,
Yeah.
considering how they've been here for like no time
6 years,
whatsoever.
like 5 years, yeah.
It's
Still really, really young. Yeah, I think they both get sacked. All right, number 8.
Yeah. Sorry, it's me. I blanked for a minute. I was gonna say Vegas. Just everything about that team is terrible. Their jerseys are terrible. Have you seen like their like new center ice paint?
Yeah, I don't.
It.
It's
It
too
looks
much.
Like, it looks like poo.
It's so
Terrible.
It
bad.
looks like
Speaking of Vegas, Eichel just scored.
Yay!
Kessel got an assist.
Oh my God, Nick, you might be right.
I'm telling you. 25 goals. I'm telling you. Anyways, but yeah, their center ice logo looks like fucking Dijon mustard. It does not look good at all. Anyways, number 8. That's Well, I guess it fits, but like it doesn't mean it looks good. Like I hate mustard personally. So, like, anyways, my 8th hot take. It might not even be much of a hot take at all, but I got Cole Caulfield leading Montreal in goals and points this year. He's gonna go off. I think he's gonna break out this year. I mean, he looked really bad under Ducharme, but you mentioned it already, Shay. Ducharme was just terrible in Montreal, and they have St. Louis now, and he's thrived under St. Louis. I think it's like a point a game when he came by, or close to a point a game. So I think he can definitely copy that. I don't know if it'll be quite point a game. I'm thinking like maybe 60, high 60s, maybe low 70s. Could score 30 goals this year. He's insane. I think he's going to go off, especially if he's playing with a guy like Suzuki, who's got a really good two-way game, but he's also a really good playmaker as well. He'll be on the top power play unit for Montreal. I think he's going to be solid. I think he's going to lead that team scoring-wise, and at least. So, yeah, he'll be solid.
Okay.
All right. Staying in the West again, and to the other expansion team, I think the Kraken are gonna I think the Kraken are gonna make the playoffs this year. And this is gonna be absolutely insane because of how bad they were last year, and I think the biggest part of that is just the goalies, right? They were absolutely horrid, and no one thought they were gonna be that horrid. Grubauer's just not gonna be that bad again. There's no way, right? Right?
Martin Jones.
Yeah, so I don't know. It could it's gonna be very dependent on that. But I do think there's a chance that they could come out and be good enough to make the playoffs because there is like a decent squad there, and especially with Ben Yeri's it's gonna be good. And I think as long as Grubauer can be a good goalie, like a half decent goalie again, then I think they can make the playoffs. They can make a push because the West once again isn't really all that strong except for like a couple of teams, right? So yeah.
I can see that. Number 8. I think 2 of Blake Wheeler, Mark Scheifele, and or PLD will be dealt by the deadline to fix the Jets' shitty locker room issues. That might be the worst locker room I've seen in my entire goddamn life. And also, none of your players can play defense.
Yeah, that was my number 9 too.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I also said that.
Your team is so dysfunctional. Like, what is wrong with your team, man? Go from Barry Trotz to fucking Rick Bonus. That's how shitty your franchise is. No one cares about you guys. I swear. And, like, your players are so entitled. It's a joke. Your team is such a joke. and you gotta fix it. Please, Nikolai Ehlers and Kyle Connor deserve better. They don't deserve to be on this team rotting. So same with Connor Hellebuyck, by the way. Please stop wasting one of the best goalies best goalies we've seen in a while, please. But yeah, I think Wheeler. I mean, Wheeler already got stripped of the captaincy, so like he might be gone soon.
Yeah.
Shifley actually. I think Shifley got stripped of the A too, right?
D?
I think so. I've
think
heard.
you're right.
I'm pretty sure Shifley got stripped of the A as well. See, like honestly, maybe. I mean, we know PLD is gonna be gone to Montreal whenever he's a UFA because he's also such an entitled brat. You know what? A poor Patrick Laine. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that right now. You guys treat him like dust. I'm one of the nicest guys I've seen in my life. You guys treat him like dirt. No wonder every Finnish player doesn't succeed there. Like, oh man, please save Billy Hanel before it's too late.
Oh my God, bro.
I don't wanna keep talking about this crappy franchise. All right, let's go to number 9.
Yeah, that was my number 9, by the way. Can I just say that, Nick? My
okay,
number 9 was
sure.
Blake
Yeah,
Wheeler or Shifley gets traded. So I think Shay touched on all of it. So yeah, I don't need to say anymore.
Nice. My hot take isn't really a hot take at all, but we haven't seen this many points being scored in a long time. 130, and I think McDavid's going to do it this year. He's going to go off. We obviously know how good McDavid is, but also they're wearing royal blue. Yeah, I think they're also wearing royal blue. It's such a nice jersey, and I think that's just going to add more fuel to the fire. Also, if that leaked reverse retro of the teardrop with the Oilers colors is actually real, I think it's going to add even more fuel to the fire. That's such a sick jersey.
It was so sexy,
Anyways,
bro.
I mean, he's McDavid, man. I mean, 130, he's doing it. For
Yeah.
sure.
It's actually weird because last year, Signs that he actually had an unlucky year. He had like 123, I think. So, yeah, watch out for McDavid. Rage he's telling me he's hitting 150. I'm like, okay, calm down, all right. He's not hitting like what, almost 2 points per game. That's not happening. 130 though, I can definitely see. When's the last time a player even had 130? Because I know Kucherov had like 128 a couple years ago.
Was
It must be since Lemieux.
Yeah, Lemieux. It must have been Lemieux.
Maybe, yeah.
Lemieux was the last player to get 70 goals too, which is that's also on the table this year. So
I think Matthews gets like 58.
yeah, probably.
Okay, let's face it, because there's a lot of shitty teams last year, and there's a lot of goalie injuries last year. New Jersey had their 6th string and 7th string goalies in last year.
Yeah, that's true.
That's gonna affect it, right? With COVID and stuff, I think Matthews hits like 55 at least, maybe 60 again. I just don't think 70 is gonna happen. I think that's a bit too outrageous.
70's a lot.
It is a lot. It is definitely a lot. There's no saying it isn't. But you know, if someone's gonna do it, it's him.
That's a talent for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
At number 9, this is a very big hot take, and Columbus makes it to the second round with the emergence of their youth and Johnny Gaudreau. Kent Johnson's on the team. Cole Sillinger's on the team. Chinikov is going to have more of a role. Marchenko's on this team. Liney probably could hit 50 goals on that line. And Elvis Merzlikins is a very good goalie. It's a very huge hot take. No. But I like Columbus's team a lot. And who knows what David Yerchuk can make it out of camp and play on the defensive pairing. He has the talent to do so. It's such a good team, and they have such a bright future for all their prospects. I think they could be a sneaky team in the regular season and in the playoffs. There's usually one of those teams every few years or so. I think Columbus is that. I think they can make it to the second round.
Yeah, I could definitely.
I forgot all about Columbus actually. They're really good.
I definitely could see them breaking out this year. They have all the pieces, and they could be just a stud team for the next couple of years. Oh, Shay's gone.
Shay.
Oh, he's back.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, yeah. So.
So many technical difficulties today. Okay, we're back.
All
right.
Well, yeah, we're just saying that if they break out this year, they could be attracting a lot of new guys to come to that place because no one wanted to go there before. So yeah, I think if they do well this year, we could see Columbus turning into a very good team for the next few years to come. All right, last one.
Number 10, the final 3.
All right, final hot take is Shane Wright wins the Calder. He's in a redemption arc. going fourth overall in the draft, going to Seattle, which might have actually been the perfect team for him to go. I think he'll go off this year. I mean, there's a reason why he was in the OHL at 15. There's a reason why he was a captain at 15. There's a reason,
You know who else
like,
was
he's going to be super good.
You know who else was in the OHL at 15? Sean Day.
Wow.
Yay! Wow.
You know what? Do you guys think, low key, do you guys think the draft was rigged so Seattle got right? Like, that seemed like too perfect. That seemed like the
It does seem
perfect
too
scenario
perfect.
to happen.
Conspiracy
It was
theory.
too perfect. It was too perfect. Come on.
You may be right. I'm starting to think.
No.
Like, like,
Hmm.
or maybe, like, New Mexico is actually a dumbass, and Arizona are also dumbasses.
Well,
But,
we
like,
knew that from the
know-
beginning, though, so it might that's also like believable.
That's true.
But yeah, it is pretty convenient. I see what you mean.
Yeah, see, I don't know, man. It's very suspicious. Very, very suspicious. Anyways, what's your 10 hot take, Q?
Well, so last year, I said the Leafs were going to make it out of the first round. That was a hot take, even though Shay's hot take was that the Leafs were going to lose in the first round. So that kind of
Yeah,
went against each other a bit. But,
Right.
We did that. Shay was right, much to my dismay. But this year, I'm going big. I'm not, like, holding back anything. The Leafs are going to win the Cup this year. I don't care. Murray's going to win the Vezina. Samsonov, and if Murray doesn't...
Right. Want to finish
That-
up what you were saying, Q?
Yeah, that was...
The last thing you said was whole. I don't know if you said wall or hole, but
It was probably wall. That's not a good omen at all.
Hey, is that it? Is that your hot take, Q?
I don't think I should say anymore.
Okay, I'll just. Is this still
I
recording?
definitely booted you for that.
Yeah, I saved the recording from the first one. I just started recording again, so we're good.
Okay. Okay, I guess I'll start with mine now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my 10th and final hot take is that the Chicago Blackhawks, that pathetic franchise, is going to get less than 20 wins this year.
Whoa.
Can you name me 5 players on the Hawks, just not named Jones, Kane, or Taves?
Oh.
I was gonna say Hagel, but he's not even there anymore.
Yeah, that's not so...
Nicholas Bodan.
He's not showing up on Cap Friendly, so I guess he's going to start in the AHL.
Huh?
Fantastic. Who's your goalie? I don't even. Yeah, you know what? Good point. Good call. I can't name one.
Holy
The goalies are
crap.
Peter Mrazek and Alex Daylock, 2 AHL bums who are always injured. By the way, Daylock played in 2 games last year. He casually had a 7.81 goals against average.
Damn.
Also hasn't played a full year since 1920 because he had myocarditis. Peter Mrazek, enough said. Their defense is literally Seth Jones, Jack Johnson. Their bottom 9 consists of guys named Mike Hardman, Reese Johnson. I'm not making this up, man. Sam Lafferty, old ass Tyler Johnson. This team sucks. And they're gonna get worse when Kane and Taves are traded.
Oh my god.
Like, they're gonna get less than 20 wins. They're gonna become the mid-2000s Hawks. No one's gonna give a shit about them. You know what? Awesome. Good. Screw that franchise. Because what they did at Kyle Beach is freaking disgusting. Screw you, you guys. You guys deserve, 20 years of god-awful hockey. I don't care.
I didn't know they were that bad. That's a bad thing, too.
They suck. They're so bad.
Holy crap, bro.
Mike Hardman. Unbelievable.
That's a real name on the NHL roster. His name is Mike Hardman. He wears number 86. It could not have been 69. That would have been too perfect.
Named Mike Hockman.
He had 2 assists in 21 games last year in the NHL, so he sucks too.
Wow, man.
Yeah, that team is awful.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's not good, man. Yeah, maybe it's not a hot take that they get less than 20 wins. Who knows? Maybe they get 10.
I don't see them winning one game. That's insane. What?
Terrible.
Holy crap.
Oh man. Anyways, I think that's it for today.
Yeah, bro, this was fun. It's been fun to be
It was
back.
fun. Very, very eventful podcast, I might add.
It definitely was gonna
the,
take.
Very.
the viewers aren't gonna see it, but me and Nick started dying when Q got cut off during his Toronto take. That
I
was
can
probably the funniest thing
imagine.
I've ever seen.
That was fantastic.
I can imagine because I started dying too because like it took me a second. It took me a second to realize. As soon as I started saying stuff like that, it cut out. Oh my god, bro. It's not good.
Anyways, yeah, we'll see you guys probably next week when we do our season predictions because the season's starting soon.
Yeah.
Hockey
Okay,
is back.
Hockey is back finally. It's man, the last month has been tough. Just not being
It's
able
very
to do
boring.
anything. Very boring.
Very boring.
Yeah, we've been stuck in our thoughts too much. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been good to be back though. Thank
For
you for
sure.
listening to this episode, and we'll see you next time.